Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Health Babes podcast. I am your host, Dr. Krystal Hohn. And today I'm going to be answering some of your submitted questions about sauna and detox. And, Dr. Campbell and I talk so heavily about how important it is to detox our bodies, right? And it's not that our bodies don't know what to do, right? Innately, we are born with all of these amazing systems in place that help our bodies detox naturally, especially with everything that we're exposed to now, out of our control. Like we can be doing everything right, and you still need to be working on these systems and helping them facilitate better because they really are overburdened by things out of our control that we're exposed to, like the air that we breathe, the chemicals that are in our homes, even things that we are exposed to that we might not know, like stealth infections, right? Things like bacteria, mold, Lyme, and other stealth and co-infections like that. So you really want to be supporting the body. And one of our favorite ways to do that is through sweating and through using a sauna. And I'm sure you've heard us talk about Sunlighten saunas by now. It's one of our favorite companies. And it's because they really hit the nail on the head with their infrared technology. And we really, really love it because there's a lot of healing components when it comes to infrared saunas that other saunas like steam saunas and things just don't quite do. Now, I love both of them. I really do. I love a steam sauna. A lot of people love the therapeutic benefits, just getting in there and really sweating. And there is so many benefits to that. So a lot of questions that we get about this stuff, we're like, let's just make a podcast about it and work through them. So let's start off with the first one. The first question is, what is an infrared sauna? How does this differ from a steam sauna? So to understand this easily is infrared uses certain lamps that penetrate deep within to the body. They have near, mid, and far wavelengths, okay? And they help, different types of things depending on the different wavelengths that the sauna has, okay? And we talk a lot about the impulse sauna that Sunlighten has. Impulse has three of these wavelengths, okay? The near, the mid, the far. A steam sauna is different in which they're using the steam and the heat outside of the body, which then heats up the body, and this is why we sweat. To whereas sauna is penetrating deep, infrared sauna is penetrating deep within our cells, and more so, having the therapeutic benefits from that instead of just it getting really hot from the outside in. Okay. That's really a big difference. So infrared uses the infrared lamps and they're, directly penetrating deep. In the steam saunas just really heat the outside of the body and get you really, really hot. So then you start to sweat. Another thing with infrared sauna, which is great to think about, is a lot of people who are sensitive to detox and things like that have a really hard time with heat. And the infrared sauna has a lot of benefit other than just getting you to sweat, which is great, right? Because it can penetrate deep within to the cells. And this is where a lot of, we need to be stimulating the mitochondria of our cells. This is where healing can really take place. We also need to get deep within our tissues and things like that to help detox and sweat a lot of these things out. But again, you can have a lot of therapeutic benefit without sweating with infrared too. This is another reason why I really like that. So that's really the big difference between the infrared and the steam. You have people that talk about how much they love the steam sauna. And again, I do too, everyone, if you can handle the heat, loves to get in a sauna really quick and it heats up fast, right? That's because the temperature is really, really high. And it causes you to sweat quickly. To whereas an infrared can sometimes take a little bit longer. I like to put the sauna on, let it heat up, and then get in. And then the more that you work on this, the more that you will start to sweat faster, which is great because some people don't sweat at all. And that is a sign of, needing to help the body facilitate that because sweating is really important. Whether it's through sauna, you can sweat through Epsom salt baths, sweating with working out and exercise, which is really important. So that's the biggest difference. And that's a big question that we get when it comes to saunas and which one should I get? And we really like the Impulse because it does have the three different wavelengths. So it's really hitting all areas. So this is leading into the next question is why do we like infrared, and why do we prefer that, especially with the Impulse? It's because of the wavelength. So they do near, mid, and far. And let's talk a little bit about what these different wavelengths do. So if you think about it, a near wavelength is closest to the lamp, right? So it's more like the skin. So this is where you're going to see a lot of the promoting of wound healing, cell health and regeneration, skin revitalization, patients who struggle with even things like psoriasis, acne, eczema, things like that can really go slow with this, and they start to see the benefits of that near wavelength with different skin conditions. And it can also really start to decrease inflammation, which is really helpful, right? And you can go slow with the infrared, which is nice. The mid wavelengths help with inflammation. It helps decrease pain, overall healing time. Other benefits that the mid helps is with weight loss. And once you start getting further deeper into those tissues, right, this is where we can start to see more of those physiological benefits like the expansion of blood vessels, which can help improve circulation, which is really nice. So that's one benefit that I've really liked is in my health journey and my macro journey and being in perimenopause, sauna has been a big tool for me. And it just overall helps with my energy. I absolutely love a sauna and it's so good. So that is the mid. Now let's talk about the far. So far, of course, is that longest wavelength. And this is what penetrates deep, right? Penetrates deep into our cells where toxins and chemicals can be trapped, which we know. We all know that this is where a lot of these things, we can hold a lot of these things within our body, right? And we need ways to get them out. So FAR can also help with weight loss because it can increase your heart rate. Me and Beck talked about that, where you can see an increase in your BPMs, which is your resting pulse rate, and it can almost be equivalent to a cardio workout. So what I really like to do is, when I'm done working out, I like to get in the sauna because I'm already sweaty, already gross, right? If I have time and if my day allows it. And I like to get in there. And once you start really getting warm, okay, and you start really sweating, you can start to feel your pulse race a little bit more. And I like to push through that now that I've been doing this a while. I don't recommend going all in. I've talked about that too. Just start slow because I did that too. And I did have some die off at first once I got off of doing it consistently. So you can really start to see the benefits of that far wavelength when you push past like that 30-minute mark, right? And you're really sweating. You can just feel the drips coming off of you, right? And you can get the benefit of a cardiovascular workout, which is great. So, in addition, the FAR really helps stimulate that vasodilation, which improves circulation, right, and blood flow throughout the body. It can reduce joint pain, which I've seen this so much with people. Joint pain, stiffness, decrease inflammation, overall stress. It's a great way to de-stress for the day. I absolutely love it for that reason. It's my time to just chill and get ready for the day. And let's say you're someone that I get this a lot, even from women who, don't wash their hair every day. They're like, but you get so drenched. Well, I kind of plan it around that, and you can do that. Just maybe get into the sauna on the days you have to wash your hair. Like me, I wash my hair every other day, and I try to plan my week according and fit my detox in there so that I'm not an oily mess, right? Because the truth is, we all go through that when we're doing these things. So these are the big benefits, the near, the mid, the far wavelengths of infrared, which is so helpful when it comes to detoxing. Okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the research that's out there too. And you can find this study easily on PubMed, you guys. It's the bus study. And what they did was they took, essentially, they're looking to see, okay, how does the body detox? Like, how are we detoxing a lot of these toxic chemicals and things that we're exposed to? And they looked at blood, urine, and sweat. And what they found was they found these toxins in all of these samples, in the serum, in blood, in urine, and in sweat. But what they found was in the sweat, there were chemicals that were not showing up in the blood samples and the urine samples, which is huge, you guys. This just goes to show you that sweating is a huge benefit into releasing a lot of these things that we're exposed to that we're not necessarily, able to get out otherwise. And so this research article on PubMed, the bus study, you can look it up there. It just shows, and it really backs the fact, the use of a sauna. And the infrared is great because we know that it penetrates deep within the cells. And this is very, very important when it comes to detoxing deeply. And if you're anybody that has struggled with Lyme, with mold, with other co-infections, this is very, very important for you. And you will have to go slow, and you will have to find your sweet spot, and it will get easier. But you really do need to, like, kill, bind, sweat these pathogens out. And it's not only good for the chemicals that we're exposed to sweating and using an infrared sauna, but also a lot of these infections too that a lot of people struggle with. And, it's one of the easiest tools you can start to implement, with having an infrared sauna. And it's something everybody can use. So this is why, we really, really get behind this. And it's not just a supplement that you take, it's something that you can utilize every single day and really start to help your body heal, and everyone can use it and everyone can benefit. So check out the bus study. I really love the research behind saunas. And there really is so much, so much research out there when it comes to how important detox is, and helping supporting those detox pathways. Okay. So that is the bus study that I wanted to touch base with you guys on. Another question that I do get often is, okay, what are some of these symptoms, right, that I could be experiencing that maybe I know that I need to work on detox? Because, you know, symptoms can be all over the place. And this is why, no matter who you are, no matter what your body is going through, I want to reiterate, sweating and supporting your natural detox pathways is something we all should be doing. So let's talk a little bit about that, and I'll get into some symptoms. We all have these natural detox pathways. So our lungs that we breathe are ways in which we detox. The kidneys, our liver, right? Our gallbladder is helpful in eliminating our bowel movements, our lymphatic system, right? Sweating, all of these places in our body and these physiological, amazing tools in our body that we naturally have work so hard for us, but they do get overburdened. So this is why we stress so much, get in an Epsom salt bath, get outside and ground. Move your body, get your lymphatic system moving, jump on a rebounder, get in a sauna and sweat, stretch, right? Make sure you're having consistent bowel movements. This is so important, you guys. So, so important when it comes to eliminating and getting rid of things that we don't need. When we put in our body, we need to eliminate the waste, right? And this is how we help facilitate hormone metabolism too, is, with bowel movements and helping things move along. Same with our liver. So these are just some ways and some things that we always need to support no matter what we're going through. And it's easy if you put that into your if you put that in your mentality of, okay, this is always working for me, but let me help it along, then you'll understand it more, that this isn't just a phase. This isn't just like a diet, you guys, or something, or healthy eating, or turning your lifestyle around. Working on your detox pathways is something that you need to put into your lifestyle, especially this day and age, to keep your body healthy. Moving your body, having bowel movements, sweating, stretching, all the things, grounding, rebounding. These are all amazing benefits to help your body do what it's already naturally supposed to be doing. Okay. And so I just wanted to reiterate that. So some of the symptoms that I really do see when it comes to, the sun, making sure like you want to be working on your detox pathways and really babying this area, is brain fog. So we know that with brain fog, that can be accompanied by so many things that the body is going through. We see this with hormonal dysregulation. I see this with limbic system dysregulation, nervous system dysregulation, um, so many things. Gut infections, stealth infections, mold toxicity, heavy metals. It really is a symptom, an overlapping symptom. A lot of other root drivers are contributing to, right? It really is. But, when it comes to getting in the sauna and sweating and detoxing, you just got to think about, okay, this is something that I'm going to support my body with long term, which can, and, really start to help the brain fog. This is something that's really helped Becky. And especially with her journey with mold and her mast cell, which she's doing so great, but she's had to really work with her body and go slow on these things. And of course, there's other contributing factors, but it really has helped her brain fog. And I see this a lot with patients too. Low energy. Okay, so if you're feeling a little bit stagnant, like there's so many factors when it comes to this, especially with diet, with your lifestyle, with what your hormones are doing, what your nervous system is doing. But if you're feeling low energy, getting in the infrared sauna can be very beneficial. Same with headaches. Now, a lot of, I'll just talk about women here for a minute, but a lot of women will experience headaches around their menstrual cycle. But and you can see this with the different variations and fluctuations with hormones, especially when you start your period, when hormones are at its lowest, when we get that drop in hormones, when your hormones are increasing a little bit, especially that testosterone and estrogen around, ovulation. And then we get that second peak again of estrogen in that third week. You can see some fluctuations with headaches with women, especially in perimenopause. Now, if you're getting headaches randomly and you really can't pinpoint it, like if you're eating certain foods and you find that's triggering you, or they're just all over the place, typically we need to really focus on detox. And that's what I see a lot when it comes to just random headaches, not knowing where they're coming from. You really can't pinpoint it to something. I tend to see headaches improve after really working on these pathways, especially with infrared. Weight loss resistance. Again, we talked about that mid and far wavelength really helping stimulate that, right? It can almost be like a workout in a way when it's really impacting that part of our system. So you can start to see some changes in weight loss. I have seen this. There are so many drivers when it comes to weight loss resistance, especially with the lifestyle, that what I start to see, and I'm just going to be honest, is the overworked, overstressed person, right? Where their nervous system is dysregulated, which then in turns causes hormonal dysregulation, leptin resistance, insulin resistance. The adrenal thyroid connection is huge when it comes to weight loss resistance. So there's so many of these factors that can play in that. And you want to see how you can help support those areas. But let me tell you, stress and a dysregulated nervous system is one of the biggest things that I see when it comes to weight loss resistance because of the domino effect that it has. So look into that and be empowered, know what your hormones look like, but peel back those layers and take serious what you need to do in your lifestyle to support your body fully. You guys, I say this all the time, but we're not going to, supplement something our lifestyle put us in. And sauna alone isn't going to make your body just switch around and start losing weight by itself, right? We need to figure out other drivers, but stress and nervous system dysregulation really is a big part of it. But with the sauna, I have seen a lot of help really stimulate that and turn things around for some patients. Again, it's a tool, right? Don't think of this as a quick fix pill per se, but it is a tool in your regimen. Joint pain. I talked a little bit about this with the different wavelengths. I really see with that mid and far wavelength, when it comes to infrared saunas, really supporting and helping joint pain. I noticed that myself, especially in my perimenopausal years where my hormones are fluctuating. The stress could be a little bit high. The stress is higher, right? We typically see, and this is what I see with patients. But I have seen greatly joint pain improve with using the infrared sauna, which is so great, right? And it's just another thing. Sluggish digestion, decrease immune function. This is huge. And this is something that I've even noticed with my family. When using the sauna more regularly, and I've seen this with patients, you tend not to, and this is, it's not just this, right? When you're working on a lot of different things and supporting the immune system, it's going to impact how your body responds to the environment, right? With catching certain viruses, getting sick often. But I do see that patients who are using the sauna more regularly, they are getting sick less often. And I do see that with myself. Which is huge, alongside everything else that I'm doing to take care of my immune system and health. Again, guys, this is just a tool to help, but I have seen improvements with that. So yes, I said sluggish digestion, decrease immune function, and not sweating. So a lot of people I see who start sauna or who get really interested in working with an infrared sauna tend to not sweat, or they have a really blocked detox pathways, or they have a hard time sweating, right? And you can see this with different things like vagus nerve dysregulation. Really working on the vagus nerve can help these things, really working on balancing that sympathetic parasympathetic nervous system. So many things, right, when it comes to this. But I have found encouraging the body, getting in the sauna, starting slow, right? Getting in there, really starting to sweat. And then you'll notice, oh my goodness, okay, I'm sweating easier. This is getting a lot simpler, right? Or now it's the floodgates. It took me 2 weeks to really start sweating. That happened to me just recently, actually. When I was telling you guys about when I was doing the sauna and I went really hard, I had gotten out of the sauna. I was doing like my castor oil packs, my Epsom salt baths, but I wasn't doing sauna. I got a little lazy with it. And I got back into it and I was doing like an hour. And then I had, you guys, the headaches that came. It was stupid, right? Don't do that. Don't do what I tell you, right? Don't do what I did is what I mean. So when it comes to the timing of it, what I found was when I started to regularly do it, so I heat the sauna up, I get in there and at about 30 minutes is when I notice that I can really start to sweat. Things start opening up, right? But it took me a while to get there, right? It would be like I wouldn't start sweating until like maybe 40 minutes, but now it's like 30 minutes and it's the floodgates are open. So I just make sure I have electrolytes and I'm replenishing my body, drinking lots of water. And it's been great. So you may notice you sweating takes a little bit longer, right? And that's okay. Just stay with it. Another thing too, and I touched a little bit on this in, when it comes to the sauna, especially with infrared, is a lot of patients who are heat sensitive just cannot tolerate heat. And sometimes, it's really hard because it can take a lot longer than most people think. Now, this is another reason why I love the benefit of an infrared is because you control the heat settings and you're still really getting that benefit, those wavelengths penetrating deep into the cell, right? And I just find that most people can handle that better. So what we like to do and recommend with the sauna we like the impulse because it has the 3 wavelengths. You can work up slowly. We find most people tolerate that better. When it comes to starting out, pick 1 to 2 to 3 methods and rotate them in your week. Like me, I like to do the sauna 3 to 4 times a week. And I do that, after I work out, either in the morning or the nighttime that I know I have to wash my hair the next day or right after. That's what I do. Or I take a quick shower after I get out of it if I do it in the evening. And that's been a great schedule for me. And I do it for 45 minutes to like 50 minutes. That's what I've worked up to. I usually get too hot by then, but when I push through that, that's where you really get that almost that cardio benefit in a way. It's really good on the heart and things like that. So, um, you can just work your way up, try it 1 to 2 times a week. Really, you guys, everybody is so different. I've had patients use the sauna every day because it was such an important part of their healing and they felt so much better. So listen to your body too, like play with it a little bit, see how you feel. But doing it, doing the sauna some is better than not doing it at all, right? And it's better, we say, work out, move your body, sweat. That's a gentle way to get your body sweating. But when you're using the infrared and you're really getting a good sweat, you're also penetrating deep within the cell too. So there's a lot of therapeutic benefit to it that you're not just going to get from, a typical normal workout. Okay. Some of the things too that I want to talk about is because there are a lot of different sauna companies out there, and we often get asked, why Sunlighten is one of our favorites. And there's a lot of companies, you guys. Um, we've happened to really like sauna because the Sunlighten saunas because they're low EMF, which is really good. They don't use they have the processing the materials that they use. They're very low in chemicals, which is really good. The impulse also has red light in the sauna with the infrared, so that's been really helpful for a lot of patients that I found. I really like that benefit. And with the impulse, you can start slow because again, if you're someone sensitive, you really want to go slow, low and slow, and listen to your body. And, it's important for that because if you push yourself, it can make your symptoms worse, especially with people that we've worked with and with mast cell and histamine intolerance and things like that, or people who are dealing with a lot in their body. Any outside stress in the body, even if it's a good stress, can set patients off and it can make you feel worse. Okay. So just keep that in mind when it comes to going low and slow. And this is why we really do like the impulse. And then again, too, patients who don't, or anyone who cannot help tolerate heat, the infrared is really good because you can go really low, but still get that benefit. Okay. So we also have a link for you guys where you can save some money on if you're interested in working with Sunlight. And if you've been looking into a podcast, you can save. We'll put that in the show notes for you, and also the newsletter this week. So be on the lookout for that. But just to wrap this episode up, keep in mind, there's so much you can do to help and facilitate your body's natural, amazing, ways in which it helps be detox naturally, right? Your body is powerful. It's innately good and knows what to do. And I mean, think about it. Your heart's beating without you even know it. Your blood's circulating without you even know it. All the things your brain is doing without you even controlling, or right? It's so amazing when you start to think how much your body is working for you, and you're like, okay, it's just moving along and I'm just sitting here. So just think of that as when you're facilitating detox and doing these different methods, right? And helping the body along, that's what it's doing. It's taking a lot of the things that we're exposed to and helping the body along get rid of it so that we can feel and function our best. That's what these biohackers, all the things that you hear about, we all try to figure out how to help the body along, and so that it can thrive and function well, and so that you have energy and you feel good. So that's why we stress so heavily about these things. And I really hope this episode helped you guys, and you have a great rest of your week. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, if you can pop over and leave a review, that would be awesome. You can also find us over at healthbabes.com, where you can find our courses, our latest book. We also are on Instagram at The Health Babes, at Dr. Becky Campbell, or at Dr. Krystal Hohn. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.